Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your twice weekly pop culture talk show, where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. This is a spoiler show, but we're going to start at the beginning because it's a very good place to start. On today's episode, we are going to deep dive into Mortal Kombat.
I don't know anything about these movies.
Mortal Kombat. So what do you know about Mortal Kombat?
Fighting.
That's it?
I was a little girl.
Mm-hmm. It was a video game.
Yeah. I know that.
It was an arcade game. I didn't like it because it was excessively violent.
Okay.
And I remember it was the one where they would...
This is not the one with Kylie Minogue. That's
no,
Street Fighter. Okay. Sorry. We can do that.
I've actually never made it through the whole thing.
So I was a little girl, so I didn't really have a proclivity for this kind of thing. And also I was not allowed to play video games when I was young. So I have no concept other than it's a fighting game and they're fighting movies.
It's the one where they would be like, eviscerate, and they would pull the like spine out with the head. When they would do like they don't do it in the movies, although I think the new one they will.
Oh, dip. Okay.
It was, like I said, excessively violent, but my very specific point of entry and memory was I had transferred from private school into public school, into Mattawoman. I was in 7th grade, and I was at a table with 3 boys that scared the shit out of me. So I was just quiet and agreed with everything they had said. And I remembered that they went to go see Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And one of them was talking about how hot Katana was. And so I globbed onto that and made it my personality for like 4 months in 7th grade. And so it was right around the time that we had just gotten back from Europe and we got a DVD player. And Mom was like, you can get like 5 movies. And so we got Spice World, Bean, or Mr.
Like
Bean.
Mr. Bean, yeah.
Men in Black, maybe? I don't remember the third one. But then the Mortal Kombat movies.
Okay.
The first one and Annihilation. I know that I have seen the first one, but I didn't like it as much. It was more real. Like, it was more, my memory. It was more of
So like the first Mad Max. Kind of.
I think it was. I think it was more of an action movie.
It's like grounded in a reality that they swiftly leave to the side.
As much as a Mortal Kombat movie in the 90s can be.
As much as a Mad Max movie in the 80s can be.
But I remember loving Annihilation. So that is, and I have not seen it either easily. I mean, I think it was 17 last time I saw it.
Okay. I
have gleaned from context that Annihilation is a like simmering turd of a movie, so I'm very curious to go back and
actually see it.
It's campier. My memory is it's campier. It was giving like 13-year-old me major Batman and Robin vibes. It's got fave of the show, Musetta Vander, plays Queen Sindel, and she destroys the ancient city of Jerash with her voice.
Ooh.
She screams and it crumbles. And we had just been there because, like I said, we went overseas and stuff.
Sure.
So like the temple there's like a water nymph temple or something. We went there. They go through Petra, the city carved in the. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, they go through all of that. And so that was probably another thing. Is like I was literally like, I've been there.
Is this the one with Sheriff Stilinski? Or is that Street Fighter? Who's Johnny Cage? This is Johnny Cage?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think he's only in the first one.
Whatever.
Okay.
I need an entry point. I don't care at all.
Mortal Kombat!
Young Sheriff Stilinski is going to do it for me.
Something has 4 arms and like goes, ugh, and Katana has a fan made out of knives.
Ooh, that's kind of
cool. And she goes, whooshing, shing, shing. And Sonya and Johnny Cash and
Johnny Cage.
Dolly Parton's there. I don't know. So
Loretta
So I'm like weirdly excited. I have a feeling I'll get 5 minutes into this experience and immediately regret my decision and be like, woof.
That's fair.
But I think at one point they're like on balls going through Earth, like whoom, whoom. I don't know. We'll watch and find out.
Yeah.
And then we'll tell you about it. So
I'm like a little looking forward to it. It feels like it's filling in a gap in my movie history.
you're not going to be able to unsee it.
Sure.
It's something that can't be undone.
Well, and I think we mentioned, but we are doing this so that we can see the new one. Yeah.
I'm excited. He like punches the guy and blood goes and then he like grabs it and freezes it and then stabs the guy with a knife of his own blood.
God. That's a lot.
Rating. Johnny Cage. Scorpion. Sub-Zero.
Combat begins.
Bridget Wilson Sampras.
Yeah.
No. I knew it was her in this, but she apparently, it was such a long casting process that she did Billy Madison.
Mm-hmm.
And then they okay. Christina Applegate was also considered for the role, but Cameron Diaz was cast after the producers saw dailies from The Mask. However,
In Mortal Kombat?
yeah, Cameron Diaz broke her wrist during training just before filming. Fortunately, filming on Billy Madison had just wrapped, making Wilson available again. She happily took the role, even though it meant she had to be flown to the set the next day.
What could have been?
A way shorter career for Cameron Diaz, I think.
Do not speak ill of Bridget Wilson. I love Bridget Wilson.
I love her too. She has not had a storied career.
I think Christina Applegate's the only one that could have survived.
Yeah. Yeah. She could have done okay.
Love Christina
She's
Applegate.
great. They're all three great in their own ways.
Mortal Kombat!
Okay.
Do you understand now? Why?
Yes. It made me jump when it started. I was like, what the fuck? And then it kept happening. It did it like 4 times in a row at the beginning.
Oh.
I went and I showed that scene from Buffy too to Will.
Did you?
Yeah, and he was like, well, it's sort of a bastardization of it. I was like, sure, but you can see how it is the thing.
I've determined that I've never seen this movie.
I've definitely never seen it.
I have the DVD because it says property of Will Brooks. My mom got mad because like
You were lending out movies?
yeah, as though she would. Do you remember that?
Uh-huh.
I was so angry because now all of my DVDs from a certain era have this lame ass name tag
yeah.
on the front.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever watched it. As we mentioned in the opening, Annihilation was my jam, and I am. So, that's what I'm here for. I'm
Okay.
here to go watch Annihilation. I am excited and scared. It has a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Jesus.
It's so funny to me because I mean, well, I can half-ass things. It's a trait of mine. It's a character trait of mine. And especially when I was a kid, I can very easily watch only the parts of something I care about.
Sure.
And the rest of it sort of just goes in one ear and out the other. And so it's sort of hilarious to me that the actual premise of this franchise is Mortal Kombat. It's
Yeah.
2 people fighting in a ring to the death.
They say it so many times. Not even just the screaming at the beginning, but they just are like, I challenge you to Mortal Kombat. Like 100 times. He's going to challenge you to Mortal Kombat. We have to engage in Mortal Kombat. It's just like, if you try Mortal Kombat, he'll take your soul. It's just like so many times they say it in this movie.
2-layered question. Number 1, what did you genuinely think?
I mean, I think if I had seen this closer to when it came out, I might have enjoyed it more for like the campiness of it and like it like being silly. But in the first place, it's a little boring.
So boring. It's
And-
borderline
yeah.
unwatchable.
And in the second place, I don't like to do this. I don't really like to, gender things, but this is a boy movie. this is like a young boy movie. And for me, it just was like, I think my husband was 11 when this movie came out. And so it's like, and I was almost 10. So like, I get it. And I think I might have liked it, but this also is not the type of movie my parents would have ever watched in order for me to be exposed to it. So I think I'm well outside the window of when this would have made a legitimate impact on me. There were some things that were really fun. I loved seeing Bridget Wilson Sampras. I loved seeing Lyndon Ashby. Like that was really fun. But then it was just sort of like, I don't know, there was a lot going on. And apparently Will said there's like deep lore in this universe. There's 11 games and deep lore. And I just was like,
I guess it's not unlike something like Dungeons and Dragons, I feel like, or World of Warcraft.
sure.
I feel like we should be able to make a movie of these things.
Yeah.
And they've tried and we can't.
Yeah.
And especially when you get into the deep lore
Well, they're
of
trying the Dungeons and Dragons again.
Again, okay. And maybe it needs to, maybe now is the time, because maybe it needs to be serialized, like a TV show. Maybe you can't jam it all into a movie.
In a movie.
It's been wild just existing in the world. I mean, because we watched the progression of movies and the sophistication of storytelling and special effects, and it's been so gradual that you don't quite notice it as it's happening. There's certain moments where the bar has definitely been raised,
Yeah.
a la
Avatar,
Jurassic Park,
Titanic.
yeah. But to go back, the visuals in this are so awful that it's wild to read that's what made it good.
They're consistent.
But they're worse than, like, I think a creature feature, like a special effect laden movie from the 80s is better than this, because we're just not even remotely there with the digital.
Well, and the creature things from the 80s are all generally physical effects. Like they're like physical things. And this, like, the fucking witch guy,
What was Goro?
was he the one with 2 arms? That was huge. Who's the guy? Lord Raiden.
Mm-hmm.
He just like turned into like light, like
Digital.
blue light, and like zipped, and he was like, follow me, and then he turned into light and zipped up the stairs, and I was like, bitch, where did you go?
Come with me.
Will was like, he's just upstairs, and I was like, okay, but that is not, if you turn into blue light and then escape, I don't believe you're just upstairs.
No, watching Goro in this was wild because I couldn't get a handle on him.
Yeah.
I was like, is he stop motion? Is he a puppet? Is it like, it's a combination.
Yeah, it's a lot of things,
And
I think.
there were too frequently, I only watched it the one time, so I was hardly, like diagramming it. But was it ever a human face? Because there were
know.
too many close-ups of like.
Yeah. That's a good point. It gave me a little bit of like Clash of the Titans. Like
Yeah, but-
the 70s Clash of the Titans.
But that, I think, works better.
Well, yeah, because everything was like
Yeah.
that. But this was like, he gave me that vibe.
Mm-hmm. So the stuff that I liked, well, I love the implications of mythos, and this has the implications of vast mythos. I remember the names fondly because of growing up in roller skating rinks and dance studios and stuff. I love an ensemble, and so, I mean, the elements of this team, and especially when we end up with the 4 by the end, because I was a Katana girl. I was always a Katana girl.
That's what I said ooh about, because she is in a movie that I love called Don Juan DeMarco with Johnny Depp. She's one of the women that he like seduces.
What's her name?
Talisa Soto.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, she's hot.
It's one of those things that I was expecting to kind of go back and be like, well, yeah, she was hot for the 90s.
No, she's beautiful.
Holy
She's a
moly.
beautiful,
Yeah.
very beautiful woman.
Her, as I recall, her role is larger in Annihilation. That's probably why I liked
Okay.
Annihilation more.
Is it the same
Mhm.
actress? Because that's the other thing about Bridget Wilson Sampras is she's got such a 90s face.
Mhm.
She is like a 90s woman.
Well, and especially when she was younger with this hair. I
Yeah.
think like her in the
She may as well have had a
2000s.
French braid the way her attitude was in this fucking movie.
Well, that's another thing. I was like you mentioned, like 10 or 11 when these came out. So I didn't notice that they were PG-13. And given that that's one of the video games' claim to fame is how gratuitously violent they are.
Oh, okay.
I felt really robbed watching this, and the newer one is a hard R. I'm so excited.
Oh, the like one that's coming out next week. Oh, sweet. Okay. Or today if you're watching.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
That
but-
will be exciting. That'll be fun.
The stuff I liked. Okay, the plot was terrible. The acting was terrible. Fucking Lyndon Ashby. Oh my god.
What a prissy bitch Johnny Cage is. Seriously. First of all, he really committed to carrying his fake Louis Vuitton luggage up the steps of this like temple. He was like doing it for a long time. And then he was like fighting the one guy, Scorpion. And then Scorpion rips his face off and he's just a skeleton. And all I could think of was, Cindy, this is Bones.
Cindy! This is a skeleton! This is bones!
That's all I could think about. I was like, why are you having such a hard time with this?
Well,
It's Bones.
that part was like shockingly graphic
Yeah.
because you have that like red wax blood coming out and it's like exploding and
It does look like the blood from the fairy tale theater of Jeff Bridges where it's coming out his eyes. It looks just like that. Horrible.
to take us back to where we started, the plot of this movie is sort of incomprehensible. I guess there's other realms? Like they called it Otherworld?
The Outworld.
The Outworld.
Yeah.
And then there's, so is it just two? I feel like there needs to be more.
I don't know. I feel like there are more because it was like when they finally met up with Katana and we were like, she was like 100% a good guy where she was like, I'm going to help you. Then she was like,
So she was pulling like a straight Gamora.
yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly what Will said. I almost wore my Gamora shirt and I was like, this feels better.
Because she was his Chang, or
Liu Kang.
no, Shang Tsung's adopted daughter.
Yes, yeah, the Emperor's adopted daughter,
Mhm.
yeah. But that's the thing that was so weird to me because that goes to your thing where I don't know how many realms there are because they were somewhere and I don't know if it was the Outworld, but she was like,
They go to the
this
Outworld.
used to be beautiful like your Earth or whatever, and then Liu Kang was like, well, is that what's gonna happen to my world
Mhm.
if he like takes over? And so I don't know if that was the Outworld or if that was a third place, but then Lyndon Ashby got sucked into that like red vortex with the guy with the thing in his hand, the Scorpion. And then I was like, well, where is he now?
Well, but no, so apparently like the premise is this goes on, I guess, constantly, or it hasn't been. Is it like a Eurovision, or that's what we need to do to spice
the Summer
up?
Olympics?
Yeah,
Like,
it's either always happening or it's been like, because they talked about 10 tournaments, but I don't remember if they said like 10 years. It's like, is this the kind of thing that's been going like the D10 tournaments took like 1,000 years or something? That I did not retain if they made it clear.
yeah, I'm not sure about that. Shang Tsung, he's the one that's sucking everybody's souls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that was weird too. Especially there was the one guy that they sucked his soul out, and then Johnny Cage was like, no! I was like, did you know him?
Well, they like met on the boat. That's
Okay,
that's
okay.
another thing, is how quickly they like best friended the shit out of each other. The reason why I know I've never seen this
Yeah.
before is because I would have remembered Bridget Wilson in like the
Yeah.
the King Kong hair. And
Well,
everything.
for me, I was like, she feels like she needs to be in the Flintstones movie in this outfit and hair situation.
And so I was like, when that happened, I was like, I've definitely never
Never
seen
seen
this
it.
one.
Johnny Cage was like immediately like, it really felt like he was trying to pretend he was in love with her, with Sonya, where he was like, I'll never let anything happen to her. We're going out. And I was like,
He had big queer energy.
yeah, a little, yeah.
I, though, was absolutely in love with Liu Kang.
He's
he
very
was
cute.
so hot.
Yeah.
It was so great. That is the 90s, like, that I stand. The
Yeah.
90s hair, the night. Oh.
So his hair wasn't my favorite because it looked like he got a bad blowout, but he could still get it.
Jesus Christ, it's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
This is from Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li.
Oh, that's
from
unfortunate.
2009.
Yeah, we pretend that movie didn't
Oh, well.
exist. Chun-Li is
That's what this photograph is from.
Chun-Li is Street Fighter, and they are different. Because people were mad when the Mortal Kombat trailer came out, and they're like, "Where's Chun-Li?" And it was like in a different
In
property.
a whole ass different thing.
I liked the like weird pirate ship. I liked the crazy island. I liked pretty much anywhere that they kind of went for it.
They really went for it a lot of places.
I could hear it this morning while you guys were watching it.
Could you?
Yeah. But
Well, Will loves it, so he was like,
I asked him, I was like, how did it feel watching it? He was like, it was made in 1995.
Yeah,
He was like, what do you want from me?
Yeah. It's not okay. Here's the thing. It's like I am sort of appreciative. You know, you did what you did, and it seems like you did. It's Paul W.S. Anderson too. That's like a whole thing that we need to address. So
I don't hate. We've threatened to do Resident Evil.
I'll do it.
Let us know. Yeah.
I've never seen any of the.
I
Resident Evil
remember
movies.
loving it was right when I started watching R-rated movies.
Okay.
And there's this, oh, it's so cool. There's this like laser that cuts people in half.
But is it to kill the zombies?
No, it's like
Oh.
protecting the corporation, the umbrella.
Oh, okay.
They're like in a hallway and this laser is like coming and it's like taking them out one by one because they keep like dodging it.
Okay.
And finally there's like one guy left and the laser's smart. It like moves and there's one guy left and he's like outsmarted it every time and it comes flying to him and then goes in a straight grid.
Got it.
It's so good. It's so much fun. Michelle Rodriguez is in it.
Oh.
She's real extra.
Well, yeah, that's all I'm saying is like, I mean, he made Event Horizon. That's an excellent movie. And that's kind of it for excellent movies on his filmography here.
Maybe it's Mila Jovovich's fault.
It can't be just her fault.
No, meaning like maybe she's sucking all the like awesome out of him.
Oh, I
She's a
mean,
succubus. I love Mila Jovovich. I'm a huge.
she has my birthday.
Ah,
I love her.
what's the song? Remember? Well, I don't know how to say goodbye.
Did she have a song?
Yeah.
What the fuck
I'm
are you
just
doing?
guaranteed Will's just gonna keep me trying.
It's
It's
just
in the rules of
Nefertiti's fjord over there.
it's in the rules of attraction.
Oh, right.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. It was like Lilith Fair. It was like 1996 or 7
Okay.
when women were like girl power.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to watch Annihilation because it, like I said, I loved it, and then it has been years.
And I have also never seen it.
Yeah,
so.
and I am wondering if it's going to be one of the. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I actually kind of mad props to this ending. The song Halcyon
Oh,
is
okay.
playing, and it's the song that plays at the end of Mean Girls.
Okay,
and so it's hilarious to me because I
Yeah.
was like, whoa. And I love that this just like total like paradise and all the kids are like running around with
Yeah.
flags. And then the Emperor is like, JK,
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat!
Weak, pathetic fools. I've come for your souls.
I don't think so.
And just like, because as I recall, I think Annihilation picks up right there.
Oh God. Okay.
So,
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Jade, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Cyrax, Smoke, Shiva,
My dear viewers, I, handsome and generous husband / editor Will, forgot to push the record button for this portion of the episode. Thus, the audio quality beyond this point is poor. You have my sincerest apologies. I hope one day you can forgive me. Please enjoy this chat about Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
considering that they're constantly just explaining the plot to you, I'm sort of like, ah.
Yeah. Well, I really loved the Mortal Kombat is not about death. That's literally
What did he say that was about, like, preserving life?
Yeah.
Or
rather the preservation of life. Liu Kang and a few chosen fighters from the Earth realm defeated Outworld sorcerer Shang Tsung. This is like that's like the beginning of voiceover. That's the opposite of what Mortal Kombat means. That fight to the death.
There's a lot of that in the movie, because what's this thing with Jax, where he's like, I don't know how much more of this I could take. Seconds.
Yeah.
Seconds. Single-digit seconds after the fight started.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more of this I can take. And then follows that up immediately with, is that the best you got?
Can't take too much more of this. Is that all you got?
Yeah, I like what?
What'd you think?
This one's worse.
You think it's worse?
It's worse.
I thought for sure you were gonna be like, I would rather watch this one.
No, I mean, no.
Gun to your head.
No. Maybe just for Musetta Vander. Only.
I was gonna be like, it was validation and nothing but validation for me. No, I was watching it. So Will watched it with us, and he was kind of like, I mean, it's horseshit. He's like, it's terrible, but he was like, it's not as bad as I remember it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, having never seen it before, but
can you understand why I responded more to this one?
I understand why you responded to all of the terrible things you used to love.
Well, this had way more female characters.
Yeah. They were evil. Which is fine.
I guess they all were. Yeah. This one just gave me way more weird. It felt way more fantasy.
Yeah.
And like I said at the top of the episode, that it was like I had been to Wadi Rum, I had been to these places,
sure.
which was really cool. I don't know.
But I am kind of on Will's team that I missed the, like, weird sets from the first one. I thought that they were more interesting than just, like, here's a cool place in the desert. Like, yeah.
They just put, like, well, like I said, it was so purple. It's basically purple lighting and then, like, fire.
Yeah.
Is how you do Fantasy Realm. But, no, I mean, hands down, it sounds like I'm doing a bit, and, I mean, at this point, who can tell anymore? But it's Musetta Vander. I think she's so funny in this.
She is.
And
she
people
really is.
use her as the example for why the movie's bad.
No, she was my favorite part.
Because especially the line reading, because I saw the comments on YouTube and stuff, but it's her line reading of "Too bad you will die."
Yeah.
Too bad you will die.
And it's like,
no, it's hilarious.
that's the most fun the movie is.
Also, I think it's important to note that the reason people didn't come back is because they read the script and it was bad. That's why? That's why Lyndon Ashby didn't come back. He was asked to return, but he turned it down after reading the script. And Bridget Wilson Sampras didn't do it because she was instead playing Sarah Michelle Gellar's sister in I Know You Did Last Summer. She chose to do that instead. And
That's a better move.
Even Ed Boon, who co-created the video game, hates it. And the reason why Paul W.S. Anderson has been involved in every single Resident Evil movie is because he saw this and was like, oh, that sucks. And so he was like, the next time there was a franchise, he was like, oh, I'm going to
finish it.
I'm going to do it. Do the whole thing and be there. And even Robin Shaw, the guy, he plays Liu Kang, right? Yeah, he hated it too. At the 20th anniversary, apparently the two of them were like, no, it's bad.
This is just hurting. It's not good. I'm not arguing that it's good. I'm arguing I had more fun with this, with them getting into those, like, weird cage balls and, like, zipping around the earth.
That was bonkers.
Here we go.
Well, they have to be, like, facing each other for some reason. You were looking down the first time, but they're like...
Yeah. When she was like, hold on to me.
And, well, because we had that, obviously, I liked Kitana, and she had her fans in this one. But it's a Super Mario Brothers, like, movie for half of it, because she's, like, kidnapped and being held in, like, a cage of
like
a
Princess
pit.
Peach.
Yeah. Motaro, he's a manticore. They keep calling him that's a manticore.
Yeah, because he's got, like, a weirdo
scorpion tail, yeah. I was bummed that I don't remember Shiva not doing anything.
Which one was Shiva? Oh, the arms.
Yeah,
with the arms.
She jumped and did this like 5 times, and then the cage fell on her.
Yeah, that did suck. That was not my favorite because she didn't even get to like really do a fight for the most part, which was annoying. But the one guy, I forgot his real name, the one that played Khan. Brian Thompson. He's in 4 episodes of Buffy.
Will was, like, the most offended by that for, like, video game reasons. Yeah. I guess his character doesn't do that.
Well, and he also, because in the first Mortal Kombat, he is, like, voiced by the guy who voices Megatron. Mm-hmm. And, like, this guy, he's great as, like, a campy, like, day player actor.
I thought he was hot.
Well, yeah, he's pretty hot. He plays Luke for the vessel for the Master in the first 2 episodes, and then he plays the Judge in season 2 of Buffy. So that I was like, I know that man's face, and that I was like, I need to know who that is. And so I get him like that, but he also he does not read all powerful Emperor to me.
No, and then they gave him a father, which kind of voids. He's like doing his father Adam Sandler's bidding.
Okay, you're right. He looked like Adam Sandler. Okay. I don't even have a problem with Khan and Raiden being brothers. That's fine, whatever. That's like a good twist. But they were like feeling so betrayed by Raiden that he was like, that his parents were the Elder Gods. But the whole time they've been calling him Thunder God. And I was like, where do you think he came from? He just burst forth from nothing?
There was a lot of talk of like teamwork and family and stuff. I don't know that I mean, we explored it in the sense that they were standing next to each other and, like, saying things at each other. Big Suicide Squad energy. Real big Suicide Squad energy.
Like, in a bad way?
I already lost one family, I'm not gonna lose another. Like,
man, too, Sonya in this one. I don't know if it was the actress's fault or the script's fault or whatever, but, like, just, like, a bigger chip on her shoulder than Bridget Wilson-Sampras. And she has, like, you know... Bridget Wilson-Sampras has that, like, 90s, like, girl next door face, and this woman is Swiss, and so she's got a harder exterior, and I just was like, it was not doing it for me the way that the first one was.
I remember liking her better, but again, I think it's just more familiar. Because watching it this time, I was like,
No,
I think it's so weird that Jax's arms were sleeves.
Well, he said it increases the strength you already have times 4.
Okay.
Which implies that it's an additive, not something that replaced.
Well, that's just not what it is. The character.
Well, yeah.
He has mechanical
Especially because you guys were both right. He still had his human fingers.
Well, because that's when I thought they were mechanical, and I was like, but then they kept the fingers and put them on there. No, it was a sleeve because he takes it off like a sleeve.
Well, even still, though, I feel like why would you leave your human fingers exposed at the end of these metal arm sleeves?
Amazingly tough arms and like the fingers of like it's Mehcad Brooks in the new one.
Ooh. That's better.
Yeah. I'm somehow more excited for the new one. I think it's got like a hard 50% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which, you know. So then them killing Johnny Cage, was it just because Lyndon Ashby didn't come back?
I don't know, man, but that sucked. First of all...
You were kind of like, oh.
He was not as good, and second of all, it was just like...
I love Lyndon Ashby, but is Lyndon Ashby good in the first movie?
Well, he's doing something. Okay. That guy was literally just... I feel like he was on set for 2 days.
Okay, the effects in this were terrible.
So bad.
And there's a part where you're like, well, it's the 90s, like, whatever. And then I realized that I was like, well, for starters, 3 years separate this film from The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And Will was like, fucking Jurassic Park came out in 2000, like 5 years before this.
This is also the same year as
Titanic. So I thought it was so funny in the beginning, because Will's right, the whole beginning scene is just a shit show. And there's like purple storm clouds, but you can literally, it's like the Hub in Made for Love.
You can see the seams of the CG.
Yeah, you can literally see square, like cubes in the sky.
It was real bad.
I don't even remember the end, because when you asked if there was a dragon in this, I was like, no. And then there's straight, there's a dragon and a Hydra.
Yeah.
It was... I even said, I was like, they could have animated this and it would have looked better.
Well, and then Will said, just pull the video game footage. And it was really tough to look at. Because we also were like, and you made a caveat, but we were like, the Merlin miniseries on NBC was the same year as this and it was better, but you said it was
Jim Henson
Studios. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
That was like Prestige when it came out.
Yeah. It was tough. It was tough for me to watch.
The fight choreography was hilarious because everybody was like feet apart from each other in this one. There was a lot of flourishes. One of my favorite things, I actually just enjoyed this, was so many people picked up momentum. As they were, like, if you punched someone and they flew across the room, it was like halfway across the room they started moving faster. That was a lot of fun.
It started with Kitana the first time. Wow. And but we got her like fan knives, which I maintain present a bigger threat to the wielder than the victim.
Well, and then Will pointed out, which I never noticed, but he was like, her name is quite literally katana. It's a type of weapon.
It is spelled differently, but the sound is a homonym. But yeah, I agree with that for sure.
I loved the music. It was so funny. It was so bad. It was like a Casio keyboard.
Yeah.
It was just like...
But it was like a Casio keyboard on demo for like fight scene.
It was like Keyboard Cat was just doing the entire like. My favorite was when they were in the desert. It was before it's the best part of the movie. It's when Sindel like destroys Petra with her voice and the music in that. Oh my god! When Ray Dan came back,
yeah,
his like re-entrance,
butthole first,
shocking. Like, all three of us were like, ah!
Butthole first into the camera.
And he's right, because he comes flying. It turns into a 3D movie for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he has a makeover, because they comment that he does have a makeover, but I don't remember it serving a purpose. Maybe I just...
No, he literally was like, just want to try a new look, and it's fucking James Remar.
Only penis we ever got in Sex and the City.
Dexter's dad also. Yeah.
I stand by it. I think Musetta Vander understood the assignment.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad you guys were with me on that. I figured that you would just be placating me, but
No. She's great. She's like a really good... I think she's a good time all the time.
Well, it took Will all the way out. When she pulled the Zoolander,
yeah,
he was like, she took the long way around with that, because she's talking to Sonia, and I forget Katana.
Yeah, and then it's James Remar is like right next to Katana.
Enters frame, and instead of going like this, she goes, whoo.
She's going around the opposite way. Hilarious. So funny.
And the screeching was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was like, really, she just kind of screams every time she enters a scene, and I was like, relatable.
Sure. Especially at the end, like when they were ramping up for the fight scene at the end, and she just like throws her cape off and is like, That's good.
I mean, I also appreciate the ending, like the happy ending that this had. Very slapdash.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that a Lord of the Rings style, like, ending upon ending is what we needed.
But it literally is, they just are like, they're immediately back in the temple.
It's over quite literally the way it started.
Yeah.
Like,
so they're literally back in the temple, and then they just like all sort of sling their arms around each other, and it's like, Mortal Kombat!
Well, again, I love the impulse to, like, to bring Sindel back. Like, she's apparently, like, the queen of the other world who's been dead for a long time. Because Katana's 10,000 years old, which is too old.
It's definitely,
and she's just there in a toga and bangs.
And her makeup is not as good.
No, it's not nearly as good. And it's like, again, I appreciate the completion of the character journey, but I found it jarring because I was like, is anybody going to explain to this woman what Earth is?
Yeah, yeah.
I responded to the mythos of it all. I liked the characters and the implications of, like, Native American shapeshifters and, like, Banshee Queens and Manticores and so I think that's how I treated this. It was like I watched the couple scenes I liked and then I played with my toys and just built of that. So it was like, I want a Mortal Kombat movie apparently where there's no Mortal Kombat. I actually just want
the mythos.
I just want gods and monsters.
Sure. I get that for sure.
I do feel mildly vindicated. It's not a good movie, but granted, I don't even really think the first one's all that good. I think
neither one of them are very good. I'm glad I've watched them, and now I'm done.
I still have hopes for the new one. I think that could be really badass.
It could be. We'll see.
Are your expectations tempered?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna appreciate the effects no matter what. I think the effects are gonna be better for sure.
You know what?
But I still am like, video game movies are real hit or miss for the most part.
I think a big thing as to why this movie in particular is so bad is because, like, 70% of it's ADR. I have no idea why.
Yeah. Ooh, it's also a first-time director for the new one. He's done one short, and that's it.
You know what else we forgot to mention in the first one, the 95 one, is flawless.
They did say flawless. I thought about it while we were watching, and then I totally forgot.
Oh, and it is generational. We forgot that.
It is generational, which feels too frequent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every 20 years.
It feels like a century.
Yeah.
At least.
Because then, so then Katana has taken, like, has participated in, like, 80,000 of these.
I'd be as disillusioned as she was in the first one as well. She was like,
these bitches again.
this is so dumb.
Yeah.
With her fan, like.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, bye. Yeah. All right, well, the first Mortal Kombat is, I believe, rentable on Amazon, but not streaming anywhere. And Annihilation is streaming on HBO Max. This is coming out same day as the new Mortal Kombat releases on HBO Max as well. And our episode on that is going to be out on Tuesday.
Oh, you know what I hated? That one CG demon that, like,
oh, yeah,
ate Jade.
Yeah.
And, like, it had these two horns and then, like, membrane.
Yeah, it was gross.
Like opaque membrane. It was.
I'm not good with it.
Okay.
All right,
Bye.
so yeah, you can follow us on Twitter at So I'm Watching or Instagram at So I'm Watching This Show. We also have a website, soimwatching.com, which links out to everything, including the YouTube. And if you want to buy our fantasy epic with, you know, other
There are no
monsters.
Manticores, but there are not one, but two Chimeras.
That's right. Yeah, so definitely do that. It links out from the website, and then just rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or YouTube or wherever you listen. And that's it for us.
Also, an evil queen screams and says really cheesy lines.
She does. It's great. Bye!